Diablo. So today we're going to talk about reviews and how reviews affect the restaurant industry, bar industry, lounge industry, all of the hospitality industry in general. So I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about negative or positive reviews?
I feel that reviews are actually very important in the culture of the crafts. Um, if it's positive or negative, it's people's opinions on how they feel about what was being served to them. Uh, Generally, when I do get like a negative review of a cocktail, I always ask people like, to please be honest, because I want to keep developing within the craft. Some people would tell me the drink is too sweet, or others would be like it's too, sour, or there are those who would be like, I can't taste the alcohol. I will always tell them like, I appreciate the feedback, and it's mostly more for me to improve. That's why I will always ask them for their positive opinion about the drinks. Also, I feel that when people do get a negative review, I feel that it should be addressed, politely, to them. Like, don't take it in as in like, oh my God, like why, take it in, understand it, what they're trying to tell you, and try to find a solution about that review. As for positive reviews, it's amazing when you do get a positive review. I will always like grab that and be grateful for it, and just try to encourage other people as well, like, to follow up with that review as well.
So say you said negative reviews help you improve.
Yeah.
And they also shouldn't be taken to heart.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now say there's a negative reviews on your cocktails, and are you like prideful when it comes to your cocktails?
No. Some people may take it as maybe it's because of my appearance, or maybe how I may look, how I would address it as. Like, some people would think like, okay, he's mad because of my appearance, like how I will look. But no, when I give him that look, it's a look of me trying to understand, their feedback, me actually giving them 100% focus, like directly, me looking at them. And it's not me looking at them with anger or with disappointment. No, it's me looking at them with understanding, like what it is that they want, so I could help deliver the best that I can possibly deliver to them.
All right. So say one of your signature cocktails, like the drunk sex, right? Let's bring that, right? That's the drunk sex. Right? It's one of your known for cocktails amongst the hundreds that you have, but drunk sex stands out. Say someone says, "Oh, I can't taste." It's made with Hennessy, correct?
Yes.
All right. So say someone says, "I can't taste the Hennessy." How would you address that? Like, "Oh, this sucks. I can't taste the Hennessy." But you know that it has a certain amount in it that's, the correct amount. Would you, for example, put more Hennessy in it? Would you explain it to them? Would you try to change the drink? Maybe they want something else. How would you address it if someone says, I can't taste the liquor in here. I can't taste the alcohol. I can't taste the Hennessy. Because Hennessy is like a potent taste.
Yeah.
So how would you address that?
Well, like, the way I would address it, I would let them know, like, the Hennessy is definitely in there. It's one of those cocktails that will sneak up on you because everything is balanced. And Hennessy is a cognac, which is, basically coming from wine as well. So me adding another wine on top of it and adding fresh fruits, which I'm muddling and everything, it blends it and it covers up the Henny taste. So I would try to explain to them like the behind scenes of that craft cocktail. And of course, if there are those that are gonna understand it, there are those that are just gonna like brush it off, be like, okay, whatever, let me just get a shot on the side. I would give them that. Or I would just offer them a different type of cocktail. If those tell me like, like I really enjoy this cocktail, but I want to taste a little bit more of the Henny, I will explain to them, of course, I could make you a second round of it. I would definitely add a little bit more Henny to it, but it's going to throw off the balance of, what that craft cocktail is supposed to be supposed to taste like.
Okay, but by doing that, you kind of like. So me as a chef, right? Say I make a dish, and I know Chef Diego also feels that way. We have many talks about it. Like we create a dish, for instance, with salmon and mash. Just something simple, salmon, mash, and let's say some broccolini, right? We create this dish where it's that it's supposed to be eaten in that specific way. You get me? If you change the mash for fries or whatever it is, it doesn't really go. Okay, so we take pride in like this is our creation, and you shouldn't change it. We don't recommend you changing it because, for instance, if you do change it and you don't like it, right? What are we supposed to do as a restaurant or a lounge or a bar? Are we supposed to comp it because you didn't like it, because you didn't eat it the way we made it for? You get me? We made it a certain way, so this is how you're gonna enjoy it, and we can guarantee that if you eat it in this combination, it will come out the way we want it. Where you're saying your cocktail is you add a little bit more and everything like that, and you'll explain that you're adding a little bit more, but it throws off. How can you guarantee it that it will taste the way you want to taste it? Because now you're alternating it, and now say you do alternate it, you add them more, and they throw it off and they don't want it now. What would you do then?
No, yeah, that's what I said earlier. I said, like I could definitely add a little more into it, but it would change the balance. So I will make them aware of it, so they will have an understanding that change is happening.
But I believe that it's in everyone's opinions how they want it to be. If you're creating something that you want to serve, like the way you want to serve it, it has to be like that. We've been learning this stuff from other chefs. When they create, or bartenders as well, when they create something, they want you to taste it like that,
Yeah.
They're gonna listen to you when you have like an opinion of can you mix some lemon juice, can you add it like French fries, can you do this and this. They're gonna do changes. People always gonna do changes, but the fact that the dish is created by the person and that's how he wants you to try, it has to be unique. You shouldn't be changing the idea that it's already made just because you want to add more alcohol or add different vegetables to the dish. It shouldn't be changed.
Yeah.
So it's like, we basically we basically think the same. So we very prideful when it comes to food, and also whenever we make, we dabble in cocktails. Not like you, when you're expert in it, but we dabble in it, But the same thing is like we take the time out to make these dishes, and it's not like we wake up and the dish is there. You know what I mean? It's like we take the time out to test them. I could speak for both of us. I don't know about other chefs.
As well.
Yeah, no, I'm saying with the cocktail, but with the dishes, this is how we do it. We consistently test. So that work that we put into creating the dish.
And actually, people that knows things in the restaurants,
Yeah.
Like it's been working, tasting, trying different things. It's not like you're gonna take these random people and you're gonna bring it and be like, how you feel about this? Like you know already who's gonna try.
Yeah, you want people that have like the right palate taste to things.
Exactly.
So they could help you improve on your dishes and also on the drinks.
So when it comes to being prideful, we're there, but we test it out. So like at the end of the day, I know you do this too, because I've been watching you recently. You've been testing out winter cocktails. All that time you're putting into it, and does it offend you when someone comes to you and asks you, hey, what do you recommend? Which cocktail was exclusive or whatever you created? And you say, oh, I know you ask them what kind of liquor you like. And if they say whiskey or tequila or whatever it is, vodka, you point them to that exclusive that's near to it, right? Or you like sweet or sour, whatever, you point them to that exclusive.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to selecting the one you pointed, they like it or whatever they don't, they want to customize it. You wouldn't take offense to it?
So there are of course there's always times that does happen. There are people that would tell me like, oh, I'm interested in this cocktail, however I can't, I'm allergic to this. So I wouldn't recommend them on that type of cocktail. Thank God that there are hundreds of cocktails out there, thousands of them, and I would look for another type that I will recommend it. I will recommend them another classic cocktail. If I have the bottles, I have the liquor, and I have the syrups for me to make those type of cocktails, I'll make it for them. I'll explain it to them. I'll tell them like, look, unfortunately I can't change my exclusive, but I could make you something similar to it in a classic. Like I always try to find another solution for them.
Okay.
Because like I get it, because I'm not only am I in the cultural craft itself, I'm also a customer of it as well. So I always try to put myself in their shoes if I was a client. I'm not picky with my stuff. Yeah, I do have allergies to certain things. So that's why I'm very understanding when they tell me that, particularly when they tell me like I would like to try this, but I'm allergic to it. Is there any way that you could change this or change that? I'll just recommend them the classic drink.
But it will be something like.
It will be something different, but that's why I always explain it. If they're sitting with me at the bar, I'll explain it. Now, of course, it's different when it's a server. I always try to tell the server, listen, the exclusives are out.
Okay, what about if they complain about that?
About what?
Like you make something different, totally different.
No, but that's the thing. That's why so they understand that before it's going to be presented to them, I explain to them what it has. We're both in a mutual understanding of what it is that you're asking me and what it is that I'm telling you. So once you receive that on at the bar or at the table, you already had that conversation with me. So that means you tried it, you made a decision of accepting what was offered to you. So yes, there's gonna be there's gonna be a chance that they might say like, you know what, like I don't want it. But there's also a greater chance of them not saying that because we had that understanding of you asked me what it was that you wanted. Now I'm telling you what it is that I'm offering.
I had a situation like that. I was working with somebody else.
Yeah.
And they sent back pasta. I remember it was ravioli with stuff with some cheese. Right. They didn't like it because. They say that the sauce, it was like sour and cheesy. I don't remember. It was a complaint about the pasta, but it was a dish by itself. Yeah. So then the guy told the waiter, all right, I'll make something that they wanna eat, right? Like maybe Alfredo, like cream or tomato sauce. So he came to the table, spoke to them, and then he went back to the kitchen, and he had like a list of just garlic aioli, garlic oil and butter with basil, I think. So it was just like
the waiter or the customer?
No, the waiter. The customer told the waiter. Okay. The waiter went to the kitchen and he spoke to the other line cook. So he made exactly the thing that they wanted, to get. And they send it back again.
But the waiter was the one that was speaking to the customer, or the lineup cook stepped out?
That was the waiter. So honestly, I'm not a picky person, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to food or anything, I'm not picky.
Yeah.
But there is people that have us, that I gotta understand that they do have allergies. they don't like, they want like specific things to eat, and but you giving the option to the customer, like, all right, I'll make something that you want to get. It's like no way that they are not gonna eat it, or they are not gonna like it, right? So in my mind, it was that like these people just, annoying.
Yeah.
And it's not. It was only that experience, but I had a more, like a lot of people told me the same thing. Yeah, that there's people like that all the times, and I get it. I get that if they don't like it, they obviously gonna send it back, because I'm a customer too. When I go to restaurants, I eat and I try things, but sometimes just people like.
No, yeah, I get it. There are always gonna be, there's certain people out there that are like that.
And I believe that people, you shouldn't hurt any how you say, criticize. You shouldn't listen to.
No, yeah, like I understand that. I don't know, like with me is like, I feel like if I'm able to speak to them directly myself, I'm able to like have an understanding. They could also have an understanding of me as well, and I would try to offer them always like a solution. Now I'm not saying it's always gonna work, but like 90% of the time, there's always a solution out of it.
Yeah, that's true. But just the fact that there is people that you're not gonna change at all.
No, yeah. There's always gonna be that certain person, that certain group of people.
And that's the conversation that we brought to the table. How the reviews affect the business, and those are, or they just wanna like give you a hard time.
There's some that want to take advantage.
And if you try to make it them happy, because at the end of the day, we're serving the customers. We want them to be happy in this place or any other place, right?
Yeah.
But it's fucking frustrating
Yeah.
to deal with it,
No, yeah, I get it.
Fucking stupid.
There are some people that would take advantage, especially like if they're looking to get some like discount or just something like free out of it. There are those. There's always like that group of people out there that would do that. I've seen it in a lot of different restaurants as well. I've seen it in my family's restaurant. I've seen it in restaurants that I go to, or bars that I visit. And it happens to them. And I know, like, I've tried some of those drinks or some of those foods, and I know that they're actually really good. And there would just be those they'll say like, oh no, it was too cold, or they say no, that drink was too sour, and they're just looking like to get something out of it. So no, I get that as well.
All right, that's good. Going back to you when you said when we were speaking about you remaking a cocktail that's not exclusive, but you can make something different. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's touch on that, right? We're gonna both sides, from the kitchen's perspective and from you, the bar's perspective. Mm-hmm. After you talk to me, after you say, hey, I don't think exclusive will work with you, whatever, I'm gonna make you this cocktail. This is what it is, A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, they don't know what it tastes like. Words really can't describe what it will taste like, right? So once they get the cocktail, they don't like it. How do you address that? Because I know people listening to this would want to know options, just like how we try to ask each other, how do we address certain, customers that come in, whether they're intoxicated or whatever. How do we learn from that? So people listen to it want to know. I know that's a burning question. How do you satisfy them at that point now? Like, so they don't want what you have. You made them something different. They tasted it. They didn't like it. How would you address that?
So going to that again. Like I said earlier, it would be a conversation between me and the other individual, right? Where I will try to find out what it is that they're looking for. If they're describing to me what it is that they want something like fruity or something tart, bitter, sweet, sour, whatever the case may be, like whatever palate taste that they're looking for, I will first try to find out what it is. And then that being said, then I will offer them a classic drink that I will know of that will have those type of tastes that they're looking for. When I had issues like that before, people that sit at the bar that would tell me what they're looking for, and I would present them like a solution out of it. I never, I will never say never, but at that given moment, like that I've done that, I haven't been brought with like, you know what? Nah, this is not working out. That hasn't happened to me yet.
Okay.
Thankfully, I'm not saying that it won't happen. It probably would happen, but in the meantime, I handle those situations from an experience page that I took out of AT&T. In AT&T, when I used to work for AT&T back in the days, they presented us with this training activity that was called the 5 key behaviors. Within those 5 key behaviors, one of them was handling negatives, creating them into positive, getting a solution out of it. And that was like an intense training that we all got out of. And the way that training was presented to us was having an understanding, putting yourself in those customers' position so you could give them a solution.
Yeah,
so that's why I say,
point.
like, if I'm with them and we're talking, we have an understanding.
That's you one-on-one talking to
Yes.
the customer.
Yes.
So that's different. Talking about cooking to my family, right? I know, and not just my family, could be the employees in the restaurant. I know what they like and how they like it. So I know that they're gonna like it, right? It's not hard for me to just make something like quick and give it to you guys. Like
No, definitely
right?
not, no.
By your side, being at the bar, you have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's great, You can talk to them and be like, all right, do you like gin? Do you like vodka? Do you like tequila? They will tell you, and you know what else you're gonna follow. So I believe that's like a great idea, like a great opportunity that you have at the bar.
Yeah.
But in the kitchen, it's not easy.
It's very, very hard. Like, that's why, like, I come from both sides, like being in the front and also being in the back end. And what I mean by that is, in the front, obviously bartending, back end, and in the kitchen. I don't have the type of experience that you guys have actually creating dishes itself, but me seeing it from my family that comes from within those industries, like my father, he's able to, yes, cook and also interact with the customers as well. But that's because he has, like that setup. There's a setup that he has for that. With the particular kitchens, like how we operate here at Cream, and that is like more like a chef style, it is kind of hard because you're consistently creating it like from scratch right there. So it's kind of hard for you to actually like step out and interact with those customers when you're creating so many plates that's being thrown out there with a whole bunch of tickets coming at the same time, That's why also, like it's also very important to train the servers in understanding the plates, so they can also find like solutions as well. When there's like negative feedbacks or whatever the case may be. So like when it comes into the kitchen, again, like it's definitely very difficult.
What about what you think about what's being done from culture? Like they stick to, like if they know how to make, how the Rasta pasta is made, right? and it's a Jamaican people.
Yeah,
What
it's
do
a
you think
Jamaican
about
dish.
that they just like they don't want to
Oh,
try something different or
because they're used
similar
to-
to it, and then they give you a complaint.
like for instance, yeah, like rasta pastas are a Jamaican dish, and they expect it to be. That's what you're asking, right? Rasta pasta is a Jamaican dish, and
I'm
if
talking
it-
about with all the traditional dishes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, you touched on rasta pasta. That's what I'm saying. So rasta pasta is a Jamaican dish, and if a Jamaican, a person or somebody's used to it from a Jamaican spot, they come in here and they don't like it because they're looking for the traditional taste that they get from where they go. The thing is when you do traditional dishes, it's from what I've learned, you shouldn't really call it like if we were to do a rasta pasta, we do a rasta pasta. Calling it a rasta pasta kind of crowns it like you're supposed to stick to these characters, right? And I learned that throughout the time cooking. It's easier to change a name and do something similar, put a different name. Like we have a rasta pasta, we call it turn up pasta. It's similar because we do our version to it. But if we do like a duck, like a duck a la orange, right? You're expected obviously to have the orange sauce, the segments, as a light dish, right? Duck breast, of course. You shouldn't stray from what traditionally it is, right? So when it comes to a rasta pasta or any traditional dish, I feel like the best thing to do is to change the name and let the customer
Know that
it's gonna be different. Yeah, correct. And at the same time, your servers can use the traditional name to give it a little description. So like, for instance, you say, okay, the tuna pasta, how's that? They'll be like, how's the tuna pasta? They'll be like, it's similar to a rasta pasta, but our chefs put in a twist, or they add different things to it. Yeah, that's I think the best route. Yeah.
But what do you think about people that are they stick to their own culture, and they wanna like only specific stuff like let's say Mexican people, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I go to eat to any other Mexican restaurant, I expect to get all those flavors, right?
Okay.
Sometimes like very different,
Of course. Yeah.
but they call it the same thing. Could be carnitas, could be tacos al pastor, but I know it doesn't taste like. So what do you think about that? You say just changing the name, it will help, but what if you do something else?
So say, like touching what you said with the going to a Mexican restaurant and expecting, I feel like if it strays too far from tradition, the name should change, right? If it sticks some similarities of, like, say, al pastor, if it has almost the same, not real different, just the taste different, then I would say it shouldn't matter because everybody cooks different.
The problem that I see in this it's because we're serving this mole with duck. We Mexican people, really Mexican people, they just majority of, I'm not talking about everybody, right?
Yeah.
But mostly, majority of the people, they will be criticizing, they're gonna say something about it.
Basically,
And I know for sure.
they're not open to the change.
And exactly.
Okay.
And it's not, I'm talking about people that are, how you say, they don't wanna discover, they don't wanna.
They're stuck in habit.
Exactly.
like
So and it's not only it's not only in my culture. It has to be. It could be in yours as well.
Well, like in bar, like if they want a martini and you make, oh no, like your old fashioned, you do it a specific way compared to
And I really like
90%
it.
of the bartenders, right? You be old fashioned, they follow
traditional one,
yeah, the
yeah.
traditional way, but you do it a different way. But
I remember you made something with the mezcal, right?
I did one
Type
mezcal
of it.
too as well, yeah. But it's funny that you guys bring that up because that also goes back to like getting a negative review from clients and stuff like that. So the way that I created that one was actually through a client and trying to find a solution out of it. Old fashions are typically made with just aromatic bitters, orange bitters, and a sugar cube with whiskey, right? And with this customer, I will never forget this. This was actually way back. It wasn't here. It was in an event, and it kind of like threw me off because I'm like, damn, old fashions, it needs to have like some type of like orange in it. And he was like, dude, I can't have orange. I'm allergic to it. And he wanted an old fashioned. I'm like, damn, like, bro, like like that's what an old fashioned is. So with him, like, I remember looking at the other bitters that I had, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it with patch. And then I remember him specifically telling me I can't have, or like it wasn't like he can't have, but he was kind of like being like a little dick. He was like, no sugar, and I'm like, it needs to have a little bit of some type of sweetness. And he was like, you could add any other sweetness, but no sugar.